Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Winner Circle Sports Betting podcast. Sean Higgs coming out here. It's Friday, the 18th of April. Matt Fargo, Chirimbes. Looks like it'll be the triple threat play here going on Fridays as we move forward with some NBA and just soon just Major League Baseball. But this will be the Friday crew today. NBA playoff talk. We'll talk about, I don't know if these are playing games or postseason. I don't know what the hell these are called tonight. They're not the real playoffs. The real playoffs apparently start tomorrow. These are not the playing games. We'll figure it out during the show. We'll make up our own name for them. But before we get to those, hit the like button, notification bell on, subscribe to the YouTube channel here so you know each and every day when the NBA free picks drop, the Major League Baseball free picks drop. Comments, welcome. We enjoy the comments. Also, you're here. Why wouldn't you hit the like button? Now, these are our free picks. We are, I tell you, 36-41 with NBA. That's not really that great. Now, free picks are free picks. A lot of times during the season, these are just games I pick ahead of time for us to do. And as you know, they are not premium plays. They're not our top plays. If you go to our sponsor, Gamblers.net, that is where you find all of our best bets. And those records, a lot better than a 36-41 when it comes to the NBA, folks. So that is where you want to find all of our best stuff. I know the process is, well, the free, you can't win the free. Listen, if you force somebody to do something, it's not what they're going to do. You're going to have mixed results sometimes. That's why these guys don't pick the games. I choose them ahead of time. So do not blame the losses on them. It's my fault. Well, they're all on me, all right? They're all on me.
Thank you for taking credit for that. I appreciate that.
Yes, except for when Chip wins, because Chip usually wins in the NBA because he's having a good NBA season. Speaking of the NBA, the entire playoffs available, $279 all the way through the championship game. If you want to get on long term with one of us or someone else on the site, go get it for $279. If you want a daily pass just for today, or how about tomorrow be a daily pass day? Hockey playoffs, NBA playoffs, Major League Baseball. Good chance you get a bunch of games. And if you brought them individually in packages for each sport, it costs you a lot more than $69.99. But the best move, I think, the smartest move is the 3, 7, or 30-day passes, because these are all guaranteed. And they include all sports. And if we don't show a profit over that time, it's credited back and you do it again. But let's be honest, you take a 30-day package on somebody, take a week package, I want to say you got like a 90% shot or more of being a winner over that time. We do hit ups and downs, right? You get a couple losses, you're like, oh my goodness, last 3 days I've lost a couple games by half point. The bullpen. Long term is better. Betting is not a one-day affair, folks. It's not one day. And everybody's going, look at this. Oh, I swept the board. I knew all the one seeds were going to go to the Final Four. Oh, that's great. You had a great week of your life. We've only been doing this for 30 years a pop. So enjoy your 1 week. Sports betting a lot longer than a couple days long. Baseball season right along, NBA season long, hockey season, again, 80-something games. Long seasons, don't grade your sports, whether they're our picks, your picks. One day does not make you, folks. Right, fellas? What do you say there, man? You think one day makes you a great capper? You have a great run over a 4-day stretch?
No. Absolutely does not make sense. You're right. One day doesn't tell the story. Did you bring up bullpen? Yeah, the Cincinnati bullpen crushed me yesterday.
They got me on opening day. I haven't been the same.
Oh, my goodness.
Matt, these guys open my eyes to the 5-inning bets now, because that's about the time you're going to get your starter out there before they start pulling people, and that may be the way to go now. Is just to bet the 5 innings instead of the full 9, because these bullpens are so inconsistent.
Yeah, I agree with that early in the season for sure. The bullpen stats were 2.5 weeks in, 3 weeks in right now, so we have some decent numbers, but we don't know the strength of some of these bullpens quite yet. And like I mentioned, the Reds bullpen yesterday, it's up 7-5 in the ninth, give up a pair of solo home runs, and then
Reds are an exciting team. I mean, they've got the you look at them and you see, De La Cruz, of course, is just, to me, I think he can be something really special. But everyone's expecting Cincinnati to do well, and then they're coming up. Pitching is so clue and so important the entire year. It's a long season, and you have to have people stay healthy, because, the Yankees already lost 50% of their starters, so you have to overcome that. It takes time.
Chip, with the bullpens, like, it'll come around June, like people are going to start talking about, we got to make trades, we got to shore up the bullpen. Every team is going to have sometimes multiple bullpen guys having really good seasons, right? Like, look at this guy, he's having a great season. How the heck can the Reds just cannot find any pitcher to have a decent season out of the bullpen? This is going back years and years and years now.
I know the ballpark doesn't help them. I'm sure of that, but still, you have to be able to find somebody that can throw the ball.
They're pulling relievers out of Colorado to go to teams. What are you talking about? Look at this guy, Colorado. He's having a good season in Colorado. The guy's Cy Young. How the heck can't you have one guy come in and get out? We're 2 weeks into the season.
There's some great players out there, and they should be surrounded by talent. I mean, look you got Skeens pitching in Pittsburgh, and where's he going? He's going to be somewhere else soon. And
I'll talk. Yeah, Skeens. I said this last year when they didn't want to pay that bonus. I'd tell Skeens, I'd be like, you know what? Hopefully they trade me soon. I don't care if it causes a ruckus and people be like, that's so selfish. That team, talk about penny pinching. They spent
he can throw though. He got a heavy ball.
How don't you spend money? You have right now. He looks like a generational talent, right? He looks like, as good as Strasburg looked when he first came up, right? Like Strasburg was really great.
And how do you Kerry Wood? Remember Kerry Wood from Chicago? It's same type right now.
How don't you build around? Be like, I got this kid on the cheap. I got him on the cheap for 5 years. How don't you spend money and try to bring people in around him to try to win?
Yeah,
you're in a crap division. That division's not that great. The Cubs fall over themselves. The Cardinals are in a rebuilding mode. The Brewers don't know if they're coming or going.
It's great to see Pittsburgh be viable again. I mean, I just love the unis.
Oh my goodness, it's terrible. How it's like an NFL quarterback. You want to win with a rookie young quarterback before you get to payday. What do you wait? You got to pay this guy $50 million a year. That's when you're going to be competitive. Oh, you got to pay him. We got to start trying to win. You should have went out and tried to sign Fried or Soto. These guys, like you've been. This is how you win. Again, would it be a dynasty with him when you had to pay other people around him when it's on him to pay? No, but you could at least make a playoff run with this guy. I mean, heck, the Angels, they started fast, but at least they went out and tried to sign some people. How don't you sign anybody? And you have maybe the best pitcher in the National League. That's arguable. Listen, there's a lot of good pitchers in the National League.
Baseball is so different, Sean. I mean, the Yankees have 4 different networks aside from the NFL and MLB network that are broadcasting games. One CBS has an exclusive for Friday nights, and Minnesota, what do they have? They have no outlets, and baseball is you can give anybody all the money in the world, and the Pirates are financially in trouble right now, and there's no Roberto Clemente out there to save that franchise.
The owners, if he's not making, he's making money.
Oh yeah, well I would say so. Yeah, they have to, don't they? I mean, with the TV revenue, well, particularly in the NFL, but in baseball, it's a different animal, really.
So, teams like the Yankees, although they're trying to get under that double payroll threshold, but like the Dodgers payroll tax is like $200 million on top of their regular salary they got to pay.
I know.
They're paying $100 million in
they deferred Ohtani for 30 years. So, I mean, obviously they're making the money. You're right. But that's LA. You're getting $40,000 a night, and what are you getting in Pittsburgh and Miami and Tampa?
Right. Pittsburgh's getting like $10,000 per home game.
Right? 12,000. Right.
They're not making money. They can't spend money if they don't make money.
Sustain that.
But how? That's the issue. Why would I want to go pay top dollar to watch my team when they don't do anything?
Well,
you're getting
sometimes
people
you go to
one
watch
day a week.
Who they're playing, don't you? I mean, aren't you always interested in seeing who they're playing? So,
but they can't even charge top dollar because if they run out of crap product.
Well, if they were any good, they'd be charging tier prices where the price would vary according to who they were playing.
Yeah, that'd go over well.
Yeah,
as if they don't have enough problem with their fan base. Wow, I didn't know it was going to turn into a let's crap on the Pittsburgh Pirates, but here we are.
They had in Skeens' last start against Washington 4 days ago. They had an announced attendance of 10,402. That's what Skeens on the mound.
That was Skeens on the mound.
And a night game, 6:40 game.
That's too bad. Maybe it was cold.
Was I was going to say
night in Pittsburgh?
No, it was actually it was 71, balmy 71 degrees. So no, weather was perfect. Granted, it was a Monday night.
That was coal mines.
Wow. I was going to say maybe it's like the Colorado game tonight versus the Nationals, where it's with 90% chance of snow. Maybe people don't want to come out.
Right.
Oh my goodness! All right. Well, we went from a little NL Central bashing between the Reds pitching staff and the Pirates having Tyrannosaurus Rex arms that can't reach into their pockets to pay anybody. But let's move on to the Joke Association here, the NBA. A couple lackluster games we went over on Tuesday and Wednesday. Now, again, they're not the playing games. I don't know what they're called. These are loser bracket games before we get – right? These are loser bracket games because the other teams that they're playing on – no, how is that possible? I don't even know how it
Sean,
works.
it's called the NBA Play-In Tournament. And when the 7 and 8 seeds play, the losers out, and rather the winners in. And when the 9 and 10 play, the losers out, and whoever remains fight it out with each other. But it took me 5 years to figure this out.
I still even you told me I don't understand.
The 7 and 8 play, whoever loses is out, and
no, the 9 and 10
whoever wins is in, and when 9 and 10 play, whoever loses is out, and then the other two meet. So.
Well, we got
they came up with something. I guess it's working, and they're playing extra games. We got more to bet on.
Yeah, but isn't it good? Is it good for the league? Like you're seeing these teams that are getting 9 and 10 seeds with losing records. Do they deserve to be in the playoffs?
Oh
no.
I can't rectify that. No.
Right. I mean, it's just right now.
I didn't even believe some of these teams that were in the playoffs when you finally look at it and you go, the Bulls are hosting a game, and it was kind of surprising.
They lost to a team with 36 wins.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Miami's 37 and 45 now. Yeah.
It just seems like a bad product. None of these 9, 10 teams are going to even come close to winning a series. Against the top teams in their respective conferences.
It's just a money grab, I think, for the most part.
Yeah. Yep.
It's speaking of Miami here. All right, listen, you stuck around for 10 minutes to hear us bash the NL Central. Let's talk some NBA. We'll bash them as well. The Heat and the Hawks, it's a pick'em. 37 win Miami in a pick'em. And how the heck is Trae Young even playing in this game? If he pulled that stunt in any other month of the year, he's out. But it's the playoffs. Hit him with a little fine or nonsense. Maybe they'll go, well, they reviewed it, and he's not going to be able to play the start of next year. They're hoping that the Hawks lose so they don't have to address this issue. Like, seriously, how the heck is that guy playing today? How's he playing, Chip?
I wrote that right down here, Sean. I swear to God, I said, why is he playing? Those exact words. And 37 wins for Miami. Losing Jimmy Butler didn't help them at all, and their defense has suffered a little bit. They're 44 and 39 to the over, and Atlanta doesn't play any defense. We're quite aware of that. They're 49 and 31 to the over. Probably going to be a high-scoring game, and Trae Young, I just, like I said, it's unfathomable to me that he's out there. I mean, you're showing up officials and throwing balls at officials. Playoff game or not, he's not supposed to be there. So I think that the public sentiment here is going to be with Miami. Atlanta opened a small favorite and it's dropped, and I wouldn't be surprised to see the Heat
switched. I'm looking right now. It is the Heat favored and the total at. I'm gonna say 221 now because there's 220 and a half.
I'm not surprised Miami's moved to the favorite after the way they played Chicago. We had finally broke our schneid, and we had a great play with the Heat over the Bulls, but this one here, this one's kind of befuddling. Matt, I mean, Miami going to the favorite on the road with 37 wins on the year.
I don't think anybody trusts Atlanta right now. I think that's part of the reason. Atlanta opened as a favorite. They're a favorite for most of the week, with a lot of money coming in on the Heat up to 85% early in the week. So 74% now. So it's a line flip. It's basically a pick 'em either way. You can still get +1 Miami out.
We lost your sound, man.
Put up 38, and can he do that again? Are they going to have to rely on him to score that many points? I think it comes down to Wiggins and Adebayo. They both had decent games. I think they need to play well down low for Miami to win, because Atlanta's going to want to run.
And as far as the Hawks go, man, this has been a tough spot for them all year.
They are, I believe it's 5-16 as favorites at home of 7 points or less. So, that's basically saying, when they're playing a marginally good team, they just can't get it done. And I think it's a tough spot for them, even though they're coming home after that beatdown in Orlando. They haven't been great at home. There's no real home court advantage. And they're going to, again, probably have to rely on Trae Young and whether he comes through. I think he went 8 for 21 in the first game. So they got, and if he's going to shoot like that again, they don't have a shot.
For me, I look at this game, and I was down. I like the Bulls, like the rest of the world the other day. I'm like, you know what? At least they played productive ball down the stretch. They are winning. They could have went right into the lottery, right? They traded Levine. It's like, oh, let's not do much. Yet they won games, and the Heat kind of limped into their playoff. And we talked about it the other day. I'm looking at the Spolstra numbers. I'm like, this guy had a nice run, but he's really not done much. So I was kind of like, is he that good a coach, or was it who he had on his team that made him look a lot better than he was?
I think he's an excellent coach, personally.
Well, I'm going to say, here we are. This is where when the rubber meets the road, right, Tim? You're in playoff games. You're in must-win kind of games. You've got past the whole Butler thing. Wiggins is taking on a much bigger role, and this kid was pretty good. I mean, I think people forget he was a top 5 draft pick coming out of Kentucky or wherever he came out of. Like, he was thought of as he's the next Jordan. They hype these guys up. So he's playing well. I like Bam. I think they win here, and the line move tells me that here comes whatever. I mean, the money's coming in on Miami for a reason here. Definitely a coaching edge. Maturity level, I'm going to put totally on the Heat side after we saw Trae Young, do what he did. So I don't know. I like the Heat. I haven't pulled the trigger on it, but I might. Welcome back, Matt.
Yeah, sorry, I had a little bit of a power surge and the internet went out for a quick second. Sorry about that.
It was, it went quiet, and then you came back, and all of a sudden it was totally crisp, clear, like your best sound ever, and then all of a sudden you were gone. I'm like, what just happened?
Yeah.
All right, game number 2 here on Friday night. Another interesting matchup here. We got the Mavericks and the Grizzlies. Now, I like the Grizzlies to cover the other day. I thought the Kings Maverick line we talked about, I was like, why is it this number? And it seemed a little low based on all the Mavericks injuries and the whole kit and caboodle with that whole team. So I thought, all right, Kings by 10 here. If you just look at rosters and how everything played out for these teams during the year, but then you put all the intangibles of we're the nobody loves us team, the Mavericks, chip on the shoulder club, came out with a big win. Memphis hung tough against Golden State, who I don't think people love Golden State to win this next series, and we'll talk about them in a second. We talked about the other day we're favor of the Rockets. What is that, a joke? I like the Mavericks here. You want to give me Memphis as a dog? Sure. I need them to win by a decent margin here, 6+ points. So you're basically pushing me up to a 10. Chip, I don't think it's. I haven't moved on the Mavericks yet, but I'm about to. I'm about to take Dallas here plus the points here on Friday night.
I think it's difficult to lay the points with Memphis. The question is, is he going to be playing? Is he going to be shooting? I mean, the ball. And Memphis is going over 46 and 35. And Dallas is going over as well, 45 and 36. So maybe that's the route to go here. I passed on Dallas last time out. I was afraid without Irving in there. And this Klay Thompson's come to play. And they're pretty big physically. I mean, Mavericks.
Yeah.
And if they can get the ball off the boards and just shake Memphis up a little bit, they can certainly pull this one out. But they are the 10th seed now. And they have had a tumultuous year, shall we say. Shall Daffy Duck say.
To say the least.
Yeah.
Matt, what do you think about this one? I just took them. I just took the Mavericks.
Yeah, I had Dallas against Sacramento the other night. I certainly wasn't expecting a wire-to-wire blowout win, that's for sure. But, they outscored Sacramento 24-11 at the free throw line. They won the turnover battle 18-9. So a lot of that has to do with it. Can they match that again? Probably not. It seems like a sort of a big number with Memphis, who I mentioned on Tuesday before they played Golden State that since the start of February, they are 2-11 against Western Conference playoff teams, and the 2 wins happen to come against Dallas. Those were 2 games with Dallas without Anthony Davis in both of them, obviously. And as Chip mentioned, it's a big team now. They got Lively and they got Gafford back, and those 2 big bodies down low with Davis, they can do some damage down low. And that's the one thing with Memphis. If they're not, kind of like Atlanta, if they're not shooting well, look out. So it is a big number. I do have a premium on this game, so I'm not going to sway either way here. But it's one of those situations where can Dallas go on the road again and pull out another win? I don't know if they can pull it out outright. Can they stay within the number? We'll see.
All right. So listen, like buttons here for the free picks. Our premium action, including Matt's top premium play in this game. Head on over to gamblersworld.net. Premium postseason play in action from Matt Fargo. Chip, you got anything up on these Friday night games on the sites for?
I have a megabuck play tonight on the early game, and the second game with the Memphis and Dallas. It sort of put me up against the wall with that number, and I think it's a big load to carry. So I passed on that one.
All right, so Chip, game 1. I'm going to write down so when I recap at the end. We got the
So the megabuck play is on the Atlanta game against whoever they're playing, Miami. We know
the Heat. Yes,
the hot Heat.
Matt's got Mavs and Atlanta. All right, so
I actually have both games tonight.
Oh, he's got both games. Well,
I do.
Don't get greedy here. I gotta give Chip a game here. All right, he's got.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I got a 6.5 here ESPN bet for the Mavericks. So 6.5 might as well be 10. I'm taking it. I'm taking the Mavericks. There you go. Mavericks for the show. There you go. You get that from yours truly here. All right, next up here, let's go to a couple Saturday games, and we'll run through these relatively fast. We're just going to kind of go over because we talked about anything has changed because, again, we did this on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We talked about these games. Bucks and the Pacers. I'm kind of leaning towards the Bucks here a little bit now. I don't know why. I think it's a big number. Everybody's talking about the Pacers. But I don't know, the line has come down in the series. Anything changed from beginning of the week with you on this one, Chet?
There's good reason. I mean, they've been playing pretty well. The Greek Freak has decided to establish his presence again, and he can be an awful dominating player. I mean, he could just take over at any time. And I feel the way I feel about LeBron, about him, because I think they're unstoppable when they want to go to the hoop. So
yeah.
I think this is a strong number with Indiana. Indiana won 50 games this year, and Milwaukee won 48. And Milwaukee's got a patchwork team for the most of the part of the year, haven't they? I mean, the guards are out. You don't know if the Greek is going to be playing. So it's they've had a bit of a up and down season as well. I mean, there were times when I was very disappointed in what they were doing. There were times when I'm saying, this team's going to be really tough to beat. So I think 5.5 is generous.
Listen, you got the best player on the court. The guy's an MVP and a champion. You're giving me 5.5? I think it might be worth it there, Matt Fargo.
Yeah, it's a weird line move. It opened at 4.5, and at DraftKings right now, 81% of the money is on Milwaukee. Yet the line has gone up to 5. The line has gone up to 5.5.
See, Matt, that 5.5 looks inviting, doesn't it?
We're seeing a reverse move here, yeah. So that makes me like Indiana for that reason alone.
Yeah, I could see that.
And I don't know if I can trust Milwaukee, without Lillard. I don't know. And I mentioned on Tuesday or Wednesday, one of the shows, that I like this Indiana roster. They're healthy now, and all of the starting
so key. I mean, he
is.
It's a fun team. We saw when they play. They get up and down the court. They score. But he's the cog. He's the cog in the wheel, and how he's not what we saw last year in the playoffs.
Right.
They need him out there. Game 2 here on Saturday. The Clippers and the Nuggets. The world is on the Clippers. I've heard nobody mention the Denver Nuggets.
Amazing.
The line has come down, finally come down. Here's the thing with this. And it's all like, it's Kawhi. And if you like the Clippers, I say you want to take them for the series, I get it. But if you just take them here on the road for 2 games, if you think they're going to win the series, you take a money line in both of these games. And worst case, you split, right? If you like the Clippers, you're taking them either the points or the money line, right? You're thinking if they're winning, they have to split. There's no way they could win this series without getting a win here. So my thinking is, if you like the Clippers, you're taking them in games 1 and 2, no matter what happens. You've already bet this game. You've already bet it. If you're a Nugget backer, you're waiting because there's no love for you guys. It's the team's banged up, no Murray, blah 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 blah. Down the street, you've heard it all. I don't know. I kind of lean the Clippers just because they've just been so hot.
And Leonard's playing. Leonard's playing, and he is such a difference maker. I mean, I love to rag on him because of all the time he spends on the sideline, but my goodness, when he's on, he was Defensive Player of the Year 2 years running. I mean, you forget about that part of his game, and the Clippers have been really hot. And I had said to you guys a couple of weeks ago that I thought Joker was a joke. He gets himself, and he's got, his lift is about 1.5 inches, and I don't know how he scores all these freaking points. He even blocks shots, and I'm thinking it's easy to get by him, and yet, so there's 2 big question marks here. Leonard, he's capable. Is he going to be playing full time? Is he in there? I think he is. And can the Joker carry the Denver offense? It's pretty tough right here. Public sentiment, like you said, is all over the Clippers. I'm telling you, Matt, the radio, it's every onslaught out here in Las Vegas, one after another, just backing the Clippers here. And I haven't heard the Broncos. I haven't heard the Nuggets name once.
It's James Harden. Ben Simmons is on. Ben Simmons. Somebody told me Ben Simmons would be a Hall of Famer. I said, fella, please.
Who said that? Where'd you hear that from? Oh my God! No. So we're seeing actually a true line move in this game. The money's all over the Clippers. Has come down, Shawnee, as you said, from 3.5 down to 2.5 now. And for the playoffs, it's good for the Clippers because Kawhi will play every game because there's a day off, if not 2, in between every game. So he'll be on the floor, all 7 games if it goes that far. So they have that edge. The Denver home court isn't as strong as it has been in recent years, so that's a problem. And Sean, you brought up a good point about if you do like the Clippers, take them on the money line first 2 games because they will split. If they're going to win the series, they have to split, and I think they will. I think they will. I do agree with that. I think that's a good move to do.
I think they're a good team. I think the split's there for them, and
right.
Even
if
you're Denver,
right, and they're another team who, series-wise, they're actually favored. They're favored in the series, not by much. It's where's the series price here? -120. So it's not a huge line for the Clippers, but the fact they're going to be underdogs in the first 2 games, you get that money line boost if you do take them game 1 and game 2.
And listen, I like the Clips, but as we like to say, it's like we don't hate a play, which Doug, right? Doug's always like, "Oh, I'm glad you don't hate it," But I can't talk you off the Nuggets as a championship team with a multi-time MVP winner who's unstoppable. I mean, I talk about chip on your shoulder and disrespect, and they got to be thinking, "Are you kidding me? We're the dogs in this series."
Right, and if Jamal Murray can stay healthy, they're still legitimate.
Well, that's
in my eyes.
We have a couple good series coming up. So now we have Detroit, New York. I don't know. The Pistons. Here come the young guys, right? Upcomers catching a bunch of points here. I got no interest in this series. You want to give me 2 games with Detroit at -140? Maybe I'd look at that, but I'm not running to bet this series.
There's it seems to be a lot of sentiment on Detroit here. I mean, first time they go from having the worst record in basketball, and now the first time in the playoffs. Maybe they'll make it to the finals. I mean, it'd be a great storyline, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I got nothing on this one. Matt,
yeah, I mean, Brunson, is he going to be playing for the Knicks? How effective is he going to be?
I think he's playing. He'll play. It's the playoffs. He'll
play. Yeah.
Detroit won the last 3 meetings, and the Knicks had won 7 straight in the series before that. So.
Yeah, I don't like either team in this series, to be honest with you. I mean, obviously the Knicks because they're big favorites, but I'm certainly not going to lay that price on the series.
Right.
But it seems like they've just been disappointed this year. They have a great roster. They came into the season thinking they're going to challenge Boston in the East. That obviously did not pan out. They could beat these lesser teams but going 0-10 against Boston, Cleveland, and OKC this year, how much trust do you have in this team?
Right.
So
and they were 20 games over 500. I mean,
if they can stay healthy, they'll be fine.
If they split half of those games, they would have been 30 games over 500. I mean,
right.
But they didn't win one of them, Matt. You said it, and they didn't cover any of those games either. I mean, they just got beat in those games.
Yeah.
I saw someone mention a player prop for Brunson over 2.5 threes. Now it's pretty juicy, but I'm looking at his set before he got hurt. 7, 9, 12. Then he had a 4.
Need him healthy. Yeah, they need him healthy.
He takes a bunch of threes, so I mean, 3. He's done it in 1, 2, 5 of. I want to say 5 of 10, but one game he didn't play in. So that might be worth it if you could do a 3+ there at even money. But Timberwolves and Lakers. So there's another good series, and then we get the 2 for tomorrow. But I'm a T-Wolves guy. I'm not backing the Lakers. I'm not for Team LaFloppy between Luka and LeBron. Although let's be honest, if you're taking a future, you're putting $100 down on these guys to win because that's the way the league is. They allowed this trade. You can say what you want, rigged, fixed. No one knew this trade was coming except for LeBron, and they want this guy and this team in the finals. I'm not. Again, I'm all OKC. OKC is for me, but I might just on principle have to put something on the Lakers to win the championship because this is the NBA, folks. This is the NBA. Matt, what do you think?
This is a tough one for me. I like Minnesota. I like their roster, but you bring up a point about the Lakers. They have Luka. Are they going to favor them a little bit? I don't want to say that's going to happen, but laying 2-1 with the Lakers to win the series, it's a little too steep for me. I think Minnesota could pull off the upset, plus 175. Might be worth a sprinkle.
I think Minnesota pulls off the upset. I do. But my gut and my gambling experience tells me I have to have something on the Lakers for extended amount of time.
Sean, the thing I find really kind of shocking considering how well Minnesota has played considering the trade. I mean, when they got rid of, Karl Anthony Towns and they come up with 2 more guards along with Anthony Edwards, who's spectacular. I mean, he's just really something. You can mature a little bit, might help. But they won 49 games, did the Timberwolves, and I'm kind of impressed with that. I really am. And I don't know how they're going to show up against these 2 big guys, but it looks to me at 4.5, that the Lakers are a little bit more inviting. I haven't done as much work on this game yet. I mean, we still have time. We still have plenty of baseball in front of us, as well as the NBA.
So final 2 here for the show, and then we'll get out of here. And we really kind of touched on these the other day anyway. Magic and the Celtics, 13.5. This line has come down. This line has obviously come down because it was 14. Well, I'm on the wrong one there. It was 14. Now it is 13.5. We talked about it, right, Matt? We were doing this the other day, and I think Brian brought up the fact that are they kind of begging you and goading you into the Magic, thinking it's a playoff team? You're getting all these points. It's Celtics got to be up by 20 plus to hang on here, this and that. I'm kind of leaning to the Celtics. I know, Chip, you said really didn't have much on these.
No, I haven't even looked at this one yet.
Yeah, a little bit out here, no problem. And Matt, you want to add anything to this one? Because I know we just did this, but
yeah, we brought it up the other day, and Brian did mention that the line is so big that it's saying, hey, take some Magic, right? But I mentioned last year Boston was the same spot against Miami, minus 14, and they won by 20. So the first game, Boston didn't have a good year. Obviously, they had the championship hangover. They kind of just walked through their season, got the number 2 seed, and this is where they can step it up. And I think they're going to try to prove a point game 1. Personally, I'm not probably going to lay this number. Probably not going to take out. Probably going to stay away from this game either way. But I think the way the line movement has just come down a little bit. I think it's saying take Orlando, but I think Boston would be the right side.
And then the Warriors, we talked about this. We gave this out on the Wednesday show. I was already on the Rockets here. I got the Rockets +1. Now they are -1.5. So if you watch the Wednesday show, you got the Rockets plus the 1 point. Now they are favored. Makes sense to me. I am not a Warrior guy. And Matt agreed with me on that one. So, right, man, you were on the Rockets, and I think Brian deferred on that one for the show. But
yeah, the fact that they're a +155 for the series is shocking to me still. It's come down a little bit, but they'll be favored by a point and a half in the first two games. They have home court advantage, and yet they're still getting +155 for the series. And as we mentioned, it's just basically the Golden State history is what this line is formed from, and not how good Houston really is right now.
This will be my point on this game and this entire series. The Rockets win. The Warriors are old. That's why I took the Rockets. If the Rockets lose, it's because of the Warriors' experience and coaching.
Is Houston the 2 seed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're the 2 seed. But they were locked into that 2 seed. They were locked into that early. Then Van Fleet got hurt, and then they lost a bunch of games. So I know they only have 2 more wins than the 3 seed Lakers, but for the season long, they were better, and they were separated from everybody for a long time.
They didn't make the playoffs last year, and they had a pretty good season down the second half, didn't they, for the most part? And I keep hearing about teams that are a year away, and they end up winning that year. It happens time and again. It's sort of hearing about Oklahoma City, and they were by far and away the best this year in the NBA, far and away.
Yeah. Again, I'm Team Rockets here. I think they win this series, and I think they'll get past the Lakers in the next one. But we'll see. I'm gonna play that. All right, listen. Today's show, we just kind of gave out the Mavericks tonight. I said to take the Mavericks because both of these gentlemen have top plays at gamblersworld.net. Again, free pick today. You got the Mavericks, the Rockets for Sunday. So you could go back to the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday shows. We talked about all these games. We gave out our sides, and some I used as official kind of show picks. So there you go with that. Mavericks, Rockets as the show picks here. Our best bets and top plays are at gamblersworld.net. Chip Chirimbes got you covered in this Hawks Heat game. Matt Fargo, Mavs, Atlanta, as well as the other game. But I'm trying to – we could split the sales here. Each guy's got a game. There you go. There's other games up at gamblersworld.net as well. So head to gamblersworld.net for our top premium plays. Basketball playoffs, there you go, $279. That way you don't have to buy individuals. When Matt's got 2 games up today. He'll have probably 2 tomorrow, 1 on Sunday. That's 5 times the price, and you're already at the $279. Use your head, people. Use your head, will you? All right. Comments, welcome. Your thoughts on these games. Chip, before we head out, I know it's a long show today, 4 minutes. Anything in this day in sports today?
As a matter of fact, there are some interesting things. For example, 1898, the first Boston Marathon was run. And, of course, the first finisher, the record time was 2:42. Sean, you know what the record time was in the last Boston Marathon race? 2 hours. That's 42 minutes better over the century. So,
well, they were running in sandals, and now they're running.
That's incredible for the human body to progress that far, I guess. 1923, Yankee Stadium opened, first game ever, 74,000. And Babe Ruth hit a home run, of course, and they named it the house that Ruth built. In 1942, the Toronto Maple Leafs won the Stanley Cup. They won the game 3-1. After losing the first 3 games of the series, they came back first team ever to win a 7-game series after losing the first 3 games. In 1945, a guy by the name of Pete Gray. Do you know what his oddity was, Sean? You don't know Pete Gray? Pete Gray was a left-handed batter, went 1 for 4 with the St. Louis Browns, which isn't all that great except for the fact that he plays the game with 1 arm. And in 1958, the Dodgers posted their first home win against San Francisco ever with 78,000 in the LA Coliseum. In 1964, on this date, Sandy Koufax struck out the side on 9 pitches, for the third time in his career. And there was one other thing I wanted to mention about this. Wayne Gretzky's last game was played on this date for the New York Rangers. And that's about it for April 17th. Yeah, April 18th. I missed you yesterday.
Listen, we got to. Me and Matt are all into this Boston Marathon because I want to say to knock off what was they knocked off 40 minutes.
40 minutes in 125 years.
Yeah, but what kind of road were they running on? It was probably like they didn't have paved roads. They're running over like dirt and rocks.
But gravity was the same,
Come on, they had cobblestone roads if they had roads back then. What are we talking about?
Maybe they took a few shortcuts.
The water was brown. They didn't have filtered water. There was no Gatorade. They weren't drinking
beer.
But you better knock off some time in 100 years.
Sneakers were invented.
42 minutes.
I mean, seriously, those guys are running from like Indians and stuff like that in 1898 in Boston. I mean, what the heck? Probably people still hiding in the bushes from the Revolution.
How about
that? Anyway, there we go. Off the rails as always. That's how we like to do it here at GamblesWorld.net. All right, folks. Have a great weekend. We'll be back on Monday. Chip Chirimbes, Doug Upstill will be then. But again, GamblesWorld.net, NBA playoff action up today from these two gentlemen. Go get it. Make that smart money move, folks. We will see you next week. Guys, have a good weekend. Take it easy.